Finding the right figure skating coach is essential for the growth and development of any aspiring skater. Coaches are critical in teaching you skills, refining your technique, improving your execution, and guiding you through testing, as well as your competitive journey. Even the most talented athletes need a coach's guidance. What if you feel like you need to switch coaches? Hi everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Many of you have requested that I cover this topic. I've hesitated because I don't want to encourage any skater to switch coaches. That said, because it's something that many of us don't openly discuss, there could be more clarity as to the best way to handle this. Figure skating is about the long game. It's an extraordinarily nuanced and highly individualized sport. Having a long-standing relationship with your coach has a lot of value. Often, there's an expectation that you'll stay with your coach for many, many years. For some skaters, it's the entire duration of their skating journey. It takes time for your coach to learn all your unique athletic traits and guide your training accordingly as you grow and develop. Leaving your coach is not a decision to take lightly. Believe it or not, it's actually somewhat rare to switch coaches. So requesting a coaching change can come as a surprise to your current coach, as well as others at the rink. When you switch coaches, you're essentially firing someone. Most people don't like to be fired. Sometimes others will judge that person because they were fired. Surely it would have to be their fault, right? Changing coaches can be perceived negatively by others and actually harm a coach's reputation, whether you intend to do that or not. Likewise, skaters who switch coaches often may find that others perceive them as coach hoppers, and sometimes coaches will refuse to actually take them on. That can prevent a skater from being able to get a new coach. All this may seem weird to you if you come from other sports or activities. Here's the thing, there's a long history in figure skating of coaches having to follow strict rules when it comes to working with skaters of other coaches. This was the case when I first started coaching. The PSA Code of Ethics used to look like this. Here it says, before acting as a coach, the member shall determine the nature and extent of any earlier teaching relationship with that skater and other members. No member shall solicit pupils of another member directly or indirectly or through third parties. In 2014, the PSA changed its bylaws and code of ethics in response to concerns that were raised by the Federal Trade Commission. Yes, the FTC really did get involved. The FTC said these practices limited competition among the association's members. According to the FTC complaint, the PSA prohibited coaches from many types of direct and indirect communications with skaters and parents and actively enforced the ban through various penalties, including suspension. This even happened when skating students and their parents wanted to switch coaches and objected to the practice. As a result, the FTC complaint and ruling, the new PSA Code of Ethics stated, no member shall represent themselves using false or deceptive statements intending to mislead. In order to protect the safety and development of athletes, no member shall engage in any in-person solicitation of an athlete while the athlete is actively engaged in a lesson or while performing. Further, the tenets of professionalism stated, as skating coaches, we acknowledge that from time to time, the student with whom we may work may wish to leave us and seek coaching elsewhere. We recognize that we will cooperate with other coaches when conflicts arise and will be willing to make such changes on behalf of the students, as will complement the further performance and progress of that student. The Code of Ethics quietly disappeared entirely from the PSA a few years ago. And now PSA members fall under U.S. Figure Skating's Code of Ethics, which has no such provisions. However, ISI's Code of Ethics does include the following. To protect the safety and development of athletes, no member shall engage in any in-person solicitation of an athlete while the athlete is actively engaged in a lesson or while performing. All this said, changing coaches is still a very tricky thing. Quite a few coaches get very upset if a skater that they taught even once or twice winds up with a different coach for the long term. That can impact the coach's ability to get referrals from the rink or club. Regardless, changing coaches is stressful. It can be disruptive to the skater. So, what should you do if you find yourself in a position where you want to change coaches? Before making any changes, it's wise to reflect on your reasons for wanting a new coach first. Ask yourself these questions. What is the issue with your current coach? Is it a scheduling problem, or is there a personality conflict? Or maybe you're just not clicking. Sometimes a lack of rapport with your current coach can hinder your progress. Identifying these issues is the first step towards finding a better fit. What are your skating goals? It's crucial to identify your long-term and short-term goals in sport. Knowing where you want to go will help your coach get you there. If you think you should be progressing better under your current coach and you're not achieving the progress you think you should be, have you mentioned this to your coach? And what does your coach say? Sometimes they'll recommend practicing more, taking additional lessons, or even doing off-ice training. Remember, you must do the work. Your choice of coach alone is not going to progress you quicker. Often, progress comes in waves. Some months you may feel like you're banging your head against the wall. Other times it feels like things are flying and are super easy. Remember that all progress is good progress. Stay patient and don't jump ship too early. If you're seeing other coaches' skaters progressing quicker, sure, that could be the coach, but it could also be the amount of practice time and lessons that those skaters are taking. Sometimes coaches will require a certain number of lessons in practice, so investigate that first. You could just add that with your current coach and see the same results. If you think you need a coach with specific expertise in a particular aspect of skating, depending upon your goals, you could require specialized coaching in those areas, like jumps, spins, artistic expression. This is where it's often best to add on a coach for the specialty rather than replace your primary coach. Sometimes skaters will want to switch because their coach wasn't an elite skater, and while a coach needs to have experience in the sport, being in the top tier should not be a coaching prerequisite. This can be seen in any sport, though. If we look at football, legendary NFL coach John Madden, he never played pro football, yet he became a household name as a coach and even has his own video game. It makes sense why the best coaches were never the best athletes themselves. Think about it. A coach's job is to help you progress. Many skaters are not genetically gifted and must work twice as hard. When that athlete becomes a coach, they'll have more experience overcoming training obstacles than someone who had it come really easily to them. Would you rather learn to spin from a coach who's always had perfect technique? Or would you prefer to work with a coach who's tried many different ways and approaches to make it work? I'll take the latter every time. A coach's own skating ability is independent from how good of a coach they are. This is why PSA rankings are not based on a coach's own skating record. Instead, the criteria to qualify is directed towards the career accomplishments of PSA coaches based only on the performance of their skaters. So why do you want to switch? What is your coach lacking that you feel someone else could bring to the table? Are there scheduling issues? Are you not getting along? Is it their coaching style? Can you have a conversation and work things out with your coach? It's a good idea to talk with your coach first to discuss the issues directly and the reasons why you want to work with someone else. This avoids an awkward situation later on. Often, some changes can be made to accommodate what you need with your current coach. Usually it means adding practice time, lessons, and off-ice training. Sometimes it means adding a specialty or secondary coach and keeping your primary coach. Many skaters have more than one coach, with the primary coach as the manager coach. Other times it could be moving on. But having an upfront and honest conversation with your current coach is the best starting point. That's your first step. Think about how you would feel if you thought you were doing an excellent job and were fired seemingly out of the blue. Definitely don't keep this a secret. It often leads to bad feelings and creates potential conflict between coaches. Think it through carefully and be open about what you're doing. Once your decision is made, your current coach will ask if you have any coaches in mind. It's ideal to bring a list of those coaches for your discussion. This helps your current coach understand better what kind of coach you're after. Sometimes a skater will have a wish list of coaches that are jump specialists or spin specialists. This usually means that you need to add on a specialty coach. rather than replace your current coach. If your coach is familiar with the new coach, they can give you their perspective on your choices before reaching out to any additional coaches, if that's the direction you're going to go in. Often your coach will want to be the one that reaches out on your behalf. Ultimately, you'll want to make sure that your coach is someone they can communicate with to keep the transition nice and smooth. Your coach may even want to meet with all of you to discuss the skating history, goals, and concerns. This is the time to be open and honest about your aspirations and any challenges that you've faced. Whether you're replacing your current coach or adding a specialty coach, consider scheduling trial sessions to provide a firsthand experience of their coaching style and how well you connect with them. Pay attention to things like, is the coach able to effectively convey instruction and feedback? Do you feel comfortable working with the coach? Is there mutual respect? A positive coach-skater relationship is built on trust and respect. Track your progress and ensure you're on the right path. Once you've evaluated your options, it's time to make a decision. Trust your instincts and choose the best coach who aligns with your goals, communication style, and personality. Finding the right coach is a significant decision that will impact your skating journey. Take your time in making this choice. When is the best time to make a switch? Usually in the off-season. This is to keep any disruption to your training minimal. It's also best as schedules are usually still being established. If you try to switch during the season, coaching schedules are often set, and finding a new coach to work with room in their schedule could be really challenging. Plus, your current coach could be left with a giant hole in their schedule that can be difficult to fill once all the other skaters have established their schedules. Often coaches must turn down other skaters for prime spots because they've already been booked for the season. If you have one of those spots and you leave your coach, it can be difficult for them to return to the skaters they initially turned down, because now many of them are likely working with someone else now. Be courteous and respectful about your timing. Changing coaches can be a sensitive process. An open and honest conversation with your current coach is essential. Explain your final decision and express your gratitude for their guidance. Professionalism and courtesy go a long way in maintaining positive relationships in the figure skating community. Approach the conversation with respect and understanding. Your current coach has invested time and effort in your development, and expressing appreciation for their contribution shows maturity. Transitioning to a new coach may take time as you adapt to their coaching methods and style. Changing figure skating coaches is a significant decision in any skater's journey. Remember, the ultimate goal is your improvement and success on the ice. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with others you think it could help. Also, you can leave me a super thanks or buy me a coffee using the links down below. Members of my channel get to see new videos like this before anyone else, so subscribe and consider joining as a channel member too. I have more videos that can help you in your skating journey. Watch this one next. This is Amy. Happy skating. I will see you real soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.